When was the last time you looked in the mirror and thought, whose life am I actually living here? Mine or someone else's bad idea of who I should be? If that question makes you uncomfortable, good. It means there's still something alive in you that wants the truth. You see, most people never stop to ask that question. They wake up, grab their phone, scroll through other people's highlight reels, and then wonder why their own life feels like a badly written sequel. They follow routines, chase approval, and call it responsibility. But here's the harsh truth. If you spend your life trying to please everyone, you'll end up pleasing no one, especially not yourself. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in modern psychology, said something that's both liberating and terrifying. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Sounds nice on a coffee mug, doesn't it? But living it, that's another story. Because choosing yourself means walking away from comfort, from expectations, and sometimes from entire versions of your life that no longer fit. We live in a world meticulously engineered to keep you distracted. Everything, from your job, your notifications, to those helpful people telling you what's best for you, keeps you just busy enough to never ask, is this really me? The tragedy is, most people mistake busyness for purpose. They think exhaustion equals meaning. You know that feeling when something in your life doesn't feel right, but you can't quite explain why? That's not random. That's your soul politely knocking before it decides to break the door down. Jung believed that your unconscious, that deep, hidden part of you, is always trying to guide you. The problem is, it doesn't speak in polite language. It speaks through discomfort, anxiety, even dreams that make no sense until you actually pay attention. Ignoring it is like putting duct tape over your car's warning lights and saying, well, the dashboard looks fine now. Let's be honest, most people don't choose themselves because it's easier to play it safe. Fear runs the show. Fear of rejection, fear of being different, fear of failing, fear of becoming someone your friends or family might not approve of. But as Jung warned, what you resist persists. The more you run from your truth, the louder it'll chase you, and eventually it'll catch up. Maybe through burnout, heartbreak, or that midlife moment when you look around and realize you've built a life that doesn't even feel like yours. Choosing yourself doesn't mean you become selfish. That's one of society's favorite lies. That putting your needs first is some kind of moral crime. No, choosing yourself is the foundation for everything else. You can't give from an empty soul. You can't love others if you've abandoned yourself. It's like trying to teach someone how to swim while you're drowning. Doesn't work. So before you fix anyone else, before you give advice, before you try to save the world, fix the person in the mirror. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. But here's the part no one wants to hear. To choose yourself, you have to meet your shadow. Jung called it the shadow self. All those things about you that you'd rather not see, your jealousy, your anger, your insecurities, your pride. We hide these parts because we think they make us bad, but that's not true. They make us human. Suppressing your shadow doesn't make it disappear. It just hides behind the wheel and quietly drives your life while you pretend to be in control. You ever notice how the thing you hate most in others tends to reflect the thing you secretly struggle with yourself? Yeah, that's the shadow waving at you from across the room. Facing it takes courage, but when you finally stop running from your own darkness, you begin to integrate it. And that's when real transformation starts. Choosing yourself means learning to say no, not because you don't care, but because you finally do. No to people who drain your energy. No to the job that pays your bills but kills your spirit. No to the version of yourself that keeps playing small because it's scared of being seen. Every no to what doesn't serve you is a yes to what does. And yes, people will criticize you. They'll call you selfish, arrogant, even crazy. That's fine. Let them. They're just uncomfortable watching someone do what they never had the courage to do. Live honestly. Now let's talk about something Jung found fascinating: synchronicity. It's that strange phenomenon where the universe seems to rearrange itself once you start living in truth. You'll meet the right people at the right time, doors open you didn't even know existed, and coincidences start piling up so fast you can't ignore them. It's not magic, it's alignment. When your inner world changes, your outer world responds. That's how reality works. You just finally stop fighting against yourself long enough to see it. But don't mistake this for an easy road. The moment you start choosing yourself, resistance will appear, internally and externally. You'll have days when your old patterns try to pull you back. Days when you think, maybe I was happier when I didn't care. You weren't. You were just numb. Growth is uncomfortable because it forces you to shed parts of yourself that used to feel like home. But remember this, pain is not punishment. It's transformation in progress. If your life feels like a burning barn, maybe stop trying to rearrange the furniture and just walk out the door. Choosing yourself isn't about perfection. It's about direction. You don't have to know where the road leads. You just have to trust that staying where you are isn't the answer. Because the cost of ignoring your truth is always greater than the fear of facing it. Now look, I'm not saying drop everything, move to the mountains, and meditate with wolves. Though honestly, not a bad idea if your Wi-Fi's that bad. What I am saying is, start small. Listen to yourself. Pay attention to what energizes you and what drains you. Notice which people make you feel alive, and which ones make you feel like you owe the one explanation for existing. Every time you feel discomfort, don't distract yourself. Ask, what is my unconscious trying to tell me? The answer is already there. You just need to stop yelling over it. Jung believed that our biggest problems stem from avoiding who we truly are. We spend our lives trying to fit in, but the truth is, you weren't built to fit in. You were built to wake up, and waking up can be messy. It means admitting you've been living a life that doesn't reflect your soul. But once you do, you stop settling for survival and start moving toward meaning. You want to know what real freedom feels like? It's when you no longer need to pretend, when you stop editing yourself to make other people comfortable, when your peace matters more than your reputation. That's not rebellion, that's maturity. Choosing yourself means you finally stop negotiating with your own soul just to make other people happy. And here's the irony. When you live authentically, the people who are meant for you show up effortlessly. The rest fade away. No drama needed. Now let's be brutally honest. The world doesn't want you to choose yourself. It wants you obedient, predictable, profitable. A well-behaved consumer who mistakes conformity for morality. That's why choosing yourself is a revolutionary act. Because a person who truly knows who they are can't be manipulated. They don't need validation because they already have meaning. So if you've been feeling lost, stuck, or just quietly miserable, congratulations. You're closer to awakening than you think. That discomfort, that's your soul rebelling against a life that doesn't belong to it. And the fact that you're still here, still listening, means you're ready. Ready to stop living as a reflection of others. Ready to meet yourself, perhaps for the first time. If this message resonated with you, don't let it fade into the noise of your day. Take it personally. Tonight, before you go to bed, ask yourself one honest question. What would my life look like if I finally stopped betraying myself? Then or tomorrow, take one small step toward that vision. Write, walk, say no, say yes. Do something, anything that honors who you really are. Because that's how change starts. Not with grand declarations, but with one quiet act of truth. If this talk helped you, share it with someone who's still searching for their own courage. Because the world doesn't change when people become perfect. It changes when people become real. Subscribe if you want more reflections like this. And remember the simple truth. Life begins the moment you choose yourself. And that is the most radical thing you'll ever do.